Chapter 19, Renewing Registration. Once a strong and protected brand is built, another key to maintaining this status is proper and timely renewal of trademark registrations. Trademark registrations can last forever if properly renewed and if the mark is still in use. This is just one manner in which trademarks differ from both copyrights and patents, which each have expiration dates, so as not to stifle creativity and innovation by others in perpetuity. But the trademark registrations must be renewed at the correct intervals, and it is critical to docket the deadlines and to properly file for renewal when the time is appropriate. As we've discussed previously, a brand owner has a common law right in a trademark even without a registration, but the benefits and value of a registration are significant, particularly against actual or potential infringers. If a registration is canceled due to a failure to renew, there is no guarantee that it can be re-registered, as we will see. Even if the trademark is re-registered, the new registration will not have the same history or the same duration as the earlier one, and it will therefore not be as strong as the earlier registration would have been. Applying for and possibly fighting for a new registration may also be far costlier than a renewal would be. If you find yourself in the position of having to reapply for a trademark that was once registered, however, be aware that it is possible you'll find new conflicts. It might be possible to reach a consent agreement or to petition to cancel a conflicting registration in that event, but those things can be costly and complex scenarios. Below are a few examples of what can go wrong if the registration is not timely renewed. An application for Muzzies and design for use with retail clothing boutiques was refused under Section 2D as likely to be confused with Muzzies, spelt a little bit differently, also with a design, which was registered for clothing and for store and wholesale services featuring motorcycle parts and clothing manufactured by others. In this case, the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board affirmed the refusal, finding that the applicant's earlier but not renewed registration for the same mark was irrelevant. Quote, applicant also raises the argument in its brief that its predecessor in interest previously owned a registration for the same mark for retail clothing boutiques, which was inadvertently canceled due to the failure to file a Section 8 affidavit. Applicant contends that the marks coexisted on the register for over 6 years without any instances of actual confusion. We are not persuaded, end quote. Applicant's canceled registration could not justify registration of its current application, so that was a very damaging result. Another case with a similar result was for America's Favorite, an application for mustard that was refused due to an America's Favorite for ketchup and sauces. And that refusal also was affirmed when applicant's prior registrations did not help its cause. When reapplying after the cancellation of an earlier registration that was not renewed, it is also possible that the USPTO will find the mark descriptive or generic, even if it had not done so in the prior first registration of the same mark. And thus, the latter registration could be weaker and grant the owner less protection. A specific example of when this happened was a refusal of Who's Who Online for online directory services that was refused as generic, even though it had previously been registered to the same party. And of course, a generic mark cannot be registered. So the lapsed registration was extremely damaging to the brand owner. Quote, while it is unfortunate that applicant's prior registration was not maintained, our precedent is clear. A canceled or expired registration has no probative value other than to show that it once issued. Applicant is not entitled to favorable treatment because it inadvertently allowed its prior registration to be canceled. As these recent decisions show, If a registration lapses, there can be serious ramifications. Don't let it happen to you.